Welcome to Compas FC. I'm Fernando Ramirez, back at it again with the fellas. We took a couple of days off. That was my bad. The NFL draft got in the way. But like I told you guys, we're back. We're ready to rock. J.C. Cervantes, Eddie Rodriguez from the Red Light District in out there in Amsterdam. Is that where you're at?
Could be out here in
You never know.
Airbnb out here. You never know with me. You never know.
You never know where Batman's gonna be, but
Don't
but
get him started.
we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Man U, Brighton. We're gonna preview the Champions League, and Messi suspended. How could that be? And we'll have some other things cooking up for you guys. But again, we appreciate that you guys are here. Now, I'm sorry to do this, but we got to start off here. I got to ask. Obviously, Manchester United lose to Brighton 1-0. I got to start off with JC. JC, what happened here? Why did Man U take the L on Thursday?
Really frustrating match, but I don't know. I just felt like they were a little too overconfident again. Every time they play these middle of the pack teams, or teams that are quote unquote lower than them or are supposed to be lower than them, they really kind of just take every opportunity for granted, and the urgency really isn't there. You see a lot of 1v1 chances versus goalkeepers that should be finished, at least one. Anthony started it off, then Rashford had a couple, Martial had a few, and everybody's just kind of knocking the ball, quick shots, and really not looking up. And I get it, you train it end of the season, and you really know where the net is at this point, but you got to play with a little more urgency. I want to say back line kind of, shaky at moments, everybody pushing up and all 11 on one side of the box, and then a quick counter, and you kind of get exposed. They had, the hit in the face kind of looked like it woke him up finally, and he remembered he could use his hands. So that was great to see. He got big in front of the shot. Got big in front of the shot for once. But, he really came to life after that. He even made a big save at the end to keep it 0-0. But, can't stop pens to save his life still. So it looks like he still needed to take another ball to the face, maybe to kind of wake him up on the pen side. We saw what happened last time we went to a penalty shootout. And it's just frustrating. The urgency is not there. Coach has been talking about it for some time now. And it's really kind of the team's Achilles heel, and it's been the Achilles heel for a couple coaches now. They all kind of, we're at United, we made it, and teams are just going to bow down and let us score 3-4 goals first chance we get. And it's just frustrating to watch that we've come so far, and now we're kind of right back to where we were with other coaches.
Eddie, what went into today or Thursday's loss?
First of all, I'm surprised JC's out here giving flowers to the hair. Kongratulations, JC.
Well, he got hit in the face, and he actually did his job after that.
Finally seen the light.
He did his job.
Maybe you got hit by a ball too today. I don't know, but what I saw was a United that couldn't take control of the game, and I saw a Brighton that was playing really well from the back. Actually, almost looked better than us playing out of the back. They're brave. They're brave. They were organized, and they took it to us. And it's unfortunate that Luke Shaw gave up the penalty at the moment he did. But I was seeing the memes all over social media, like, "Oh, you know what? You guys did that to us last time.
We woke up.
Soccer came full circle, right?"
Like the Undertaker.
But what I will say though is, Ten Hag has a point. The team does look a lot better and play more fluidly when Martial is healthy and on the pitch.
He's just
and it's night and day difference between him and Weghorst. I'm sorry, that's what it is.
Different players.
But United had two clear chances in the first half. They should have secured
just two
the result by scoring those two goals. I think the clearest chance there was probably Rashford when he took that one-on-one.
Probably.
If I was pretty surprised seeing Steele back in goal for Brighton, because I know those who remember the Sunderland Till I Die documentary. The guy was getting scored on left to right. But he played the game of his life.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. Played a great game. Made some pretty important interventions when he needed to.
Yeah, we had some crappy forwards up top that couldn't score to save their lives, though. Just kicking it right at him.
I just want to say that, Anthony, use your right foot.
No.
You're not Arjen Robben. You're not Arjen Robben. You're still young enough to play with that and learn how to use that right foot. Use that right foot. That's all I'm saying.
And you know, shout out while we're just talking about him, shout him out for getting big in such a crucial moment. I mean, he definitely got fouled. He flip-flopped both of those defenders. He sized them up like some training cones, and he got through them real quick and easy. And I get it's a chippy game, but this ref's been known to, you know, have some controversial games. If I do remember correctly, isn't he the one that red carded Casemiro for
yeah,
Yep.
but
is it like, and then that happens, the game gets out of hand, and then the cheap pen
all
at
in
the
all,
end.
this was a great game, man. If you're a
It
neutral
was
fan,
it was a good Premier game.
It was a great Premier League game. You see a smaller team take it up against a bigger team and get the result. Fluid football through and through from both teams. They both look for the result. You can't fault them there, but it just did look like Brighton towards the end of the game just had a little bit more to give than United.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because they're also in the hunt for them, you know, Europa League conference spots, possibly the Europa League. So that would be a historic season for them, as we hinted at last podcast. And, you know, good for them. Good for them.
I mean, I was just surprised by, I guess, the ending, but supposedly there was supposed to be a red card for Casemiro. That wasn't a foul, was it? The one that the non-call
every time.
It depends who's reffing. Casemiro plays hard, and I think
made a career out of that kind of stuff.
Some of these referees, in my opinion,
I'm surprised that the refs have been more on him here
than they were in La Liga. They've been more on him.
Exactly.
They've been quick to give him the yellow. Why is that? What's going on that all these referees are now almost like targeting Casemiro? Like, for what? This is the Premier League. Tackles like that happen all the time. But now that it's Casemiro, like, oh, you know what? Nah, let's book him. Let's do this. Nah, I'm not for that.
Yeah, Van de Beek could get his leg broken and not, you know, and see a card. The defender won't see a card, but, you know, Casemiro, 50-50 ball, 50-50 tackle every single time. He's seeing at least a yellow. You're lucky. You're holding your breath. He doesn't see a red every time he goes to a 50-50 ball, because interpretations out the window at that point every single time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like why is it that like all of a sudden Casemiro's like getting hunted like that? Because it just feels like he's getting headhunted at this point. Like, just because every single time he makes a tackle or anything in the opposing stadium, they start whistling, they start like screaming, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? What's going on?"
But that's kind of always been him, though. He's always been framed as a dirty player, and you remember the classic.
Oh no. And honestly, I just think he plays with aggression. That's his thing. But 100%. Obviously, people are going to take it the wrong way because he's not on their team. If Casemiro was on each of their teams, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's our guy. That's our boy." Like, yeah.
I mean, I like how he plays. I mean, he plays the game to win. The guy doesn't have an off switch when he's on the pitch. And it's unfortunate if they're targeting him, because that's what it looks like. Let's be real. And the Premiership has, in my opinion, some of the worst league reps in the world.
They weren't even getting called up to
national team. It's been pretty bad this year. World Cup. The 2018 World Cup, there was no English reps there. Ask yourself why. Same reason. And a lot of the same guys are still there as referees. It's unbelievable. And
dreadful.
And it reminds me of like Klopp talking about a specific referee. Like, hey, what's up with this guy? Is he having against us? Like, I'm celebrating and you know, he's carding me or he's trying to get me sent off. Like, what's going on? And it reminds me of Mourinho. What had just happened in the Serie A, that he had a mic. He mic'd himself up pre-game, the whole game, and he was talking about how the referees here are just like super unprofessional and you know, X, Y, and Z. And he's got a point. Something has to be done about these referees, because they're not the protagonists of these games. They're not. No one's paying to see a referee make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, I completely agree. So it is time for part 1 of 2 of question by Dan and Dago.
Oh, Dan and Dago.
And Here we go.
This one goes to JC. This is still my locks.
JC, Dan and Dago is wondering if you could have anybody from this list from number 3 to number 6. Who is the one player you'd go for from number 3 to number 6? Who's the 1 player that you'd want?
That's
so tough. You have Ivan Toney, for you listening and not watching on YouTube. You have Ivan Toney from Brentford, Mohamed Salah from
Hold on, let's back up a little bit. 1 and 2 are Haaland and Kane.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are Haaland and Kane, but we're separating them. We're going Ivan Toney, Mohamed Salah, Marcus Rashford, Gabriel Martinelli, Callum Wilson. JC, if you could have one of those guys on your team, who would it be?
It's tough to say, but I mean, I guess the way we're playing, you kind of can't deny Ivan Toney would fit in. I mean, he'd play well there just because of the services and the crosses will play. He can finish, just about with both feet.
You rate him now, huh?
We don't. Whoa, chat. We would agreed on this guy a long time ago. Easy now. I mean, Caleb Wilson, I would say maybe, but I don't think he's
Callum Wilson.
really.
No, don't start. No start.
You gonna let me finish?
You had it right with Ivan Toney.
You gonna let me finish?
No, Callum Wilson.
You gonna let me finish?
Yeah.
He had a bright moment right before the World Cup, and then he got all that hype. And now he really hasn't lived up to it. I would say Ivan Toney has put in the work, has been putting in the work, and kept getting overlooked. Just because he plays for Brentford. If the guy would have played for Villa or for West Ham, everybody'd be hyping him. Oh, God, yeah. If he was on Spurs, yeah, he'd be hyped right there. And everybody'd be saying, yeah, Kane could leave. We got Tony, no problem, right? But for sure, I mean, just based off of the way we're playing, you got to go Tony. You don't need another winger. We're too stacked at the winger position, from the academy up. And you just really need a striker. You've seen it today. You subbed on Weghorst just to, play long ball game, just to see what happens at that point and try to salvage 3 points because, you really couldn't finish. He's rotation. I'm keeping him. He's rotation. He's good for the club. Gives you something different on the pitch.
Cheap. I don't see why you don't keep him.
Numbers got to be right because, we're not going to get the biggest transfer budget.
He slowed down ever since the hype train was on him?
I believe he's just playing his usual self. These are just his usual average performances. Shows flashes of what could be, and he shows you why. He
was unlucky to score today. Let's be real.
It was unlucky. He had more than 4 shots.
To score.
He had terrible first touches.
He was creating his own shots,
and then did what? He wasn't passing the ball off for what?
Jordan Steele was like on a whole nother level.
All right. Well, when you kick it right at the goalie, what do you expect?
The Sunderland till I died curse, went away, and now he's a Premiership boy.
When you just kick it as hard as you can with your eyes closed, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You got to aim and kick it somewhere away from the goalie.
The other question by Dan and Day goes for both of you guys, actually. But I think Eddie's gonna not like this question.
But you see on that list, you see Martinelli's got just about as many goals with Rashford, and nobody's losing their top. I mean, do you rate Martinelli for matching Rashford's and call him top tier winger now? Also for matching Rashford?
Oh, Martinelli? Yeah. He's a good player.
You got the same stats as Rashford. You're gonna go and lose your top the same?
He's a good player.
I'm just saying. You call him good, but you call Rashford great for doing the same thing.
I think Rashford's great.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Yeah. Finally appeared after 3 years. No, he's great.
So obviously,
you hate on your own players, champ. Such a shame on you.
Accountability. I'm sorry, I have standards. TikTok.
Like does this guy even like Manchester?
I'm sorry, United? Bro, for not being a cheerleader for them just like making a 3-paragraph essay. Yeah, you are, bro.
No, I'm not.
You call Martinelli good and Rashford great, and they played the same stats. Same stats.
So this is right now the table. Manchester City 79 points with a game in hand on Arsenal, who have 78. Newcastle at 65, Manchester United 63, Liverpool 59. So the question from Dan and Dago to both of you is, could Liverpool catch Manchester United? Now, this is the schedule that they have left. Liverpool play Brentford, Leicester City, Aston Villa, and Southampton. Manchester United still play West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Fulham, and that's it. So do you feel like J.C. Eddie, I'll start off with you. Do you feel like Liverpool can catch Manchester United?
Liverpool are extremely informed, but they're not playing great. Let's be honest. And I think this Brentford team has shown that they can beat them, and they can beat them with ease. So I would say this next game, lock it in, that Brentford beats Liverpool. I think Manchester United are not going to drop the ball on this one. I think they'll secure a top 4 finish. I think it's a little far-fetched of anyone to think that Liverpool are going to sneak into the top 4 all of a sudden. I don't see Newcastle, losing their position, and I definitely don't see Manchester United, fumbling the bag like Arsenal. So no, I don't think Liverpool are even going to be in that conversation after this Brentford game. They're playing West Ham next, and West Ham have been extremely poor on they're teetering, between staying in the Prem and relegation themselves. So, no, I think that's a little ridiculous from Dan and Dago. Always trying to stir the pot there. Mister, I watched 2 games of Newcastle, and now I'm a Newcastle fan, and I'm a lock in
There it
Newcastle every
is.
chance
There
I get.
it is.
Yeah,
He's angry.
they're playing Arsenal next. That should be a great game.
JC, what do you think? Can Liverpool catch Man U?
I mean, yeah, they could, but are they going to? No. They
Man U still has
definitely
a game in
could.
hand. Man U still has a game in hand.
They definitely could, but that's what I was gonna say. We still have the game on hand versus Chelsea. For everybody right now, this next game is very crucial because I mean the season's over this month in May, and everybody's got a very tough matchup coming up between Arsenal and Newcastle. Are going to battle up a top 3 spot right there. This Newcastle winning could secure their number 3 spot, and then United's just going to have to win out to hold 4, right? And it's just I don't think Liverpool have the team left to make a last minute run.
Look,
just
you want to play devil's advocate. It's a little off topic, right? But let's look at the league position here. Let's look at Liverpool.
Look at Brighton.
They're not that far behind for Manchester United, and Manchester United has had a better season than Liverpool, but they're still there. And look at the goal difference. I don't want people to say that, oh, we only pick United. This. No, we're not oblivious to these things. Liverpool, yes, they had a bad season comparing them to their standards from previous years.
Exactly.
And I feel like Jurgen Klopp is maybe 3 players away from possibly going at it again. But
they're starting to get players back from injury, United, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, a little too late. And I think that's where Manchester United need to, be aware of that and say, you know what, we need to supply Ten Hag with a healthy transfer budget to bring in the striker he needs and bring in possibly 3 other players to fill in some holes and positions, because that goal difference there and the goals allowed is just that, that's not going to win you a Premier League. It's just not.
The only thing that's worrying me right now is that the next game versus West Ham is in West Ham, and we've been terrible away. The majority of the wins have been in Manchester. Playing away has been a struggle. You've seen it again versus Brighton, and to lose, literally lost 2 points in such a cheap manner at the end of the game, when it's just supposed to be concentration all the way through finish, right? Get your result, and you got a point up. And you're separating yourself from the bottom 5. Everybody under 5.
We can't blame Luke Shaw for that. I don't feel that it's fair to blame Luke Shaw for that.
And that's interpretation again. And every game is different.
I think it's a completely normal play where he's jumping in the air. Maybe he got bumped or something, and the hands went up. So,
we appreciate Dan and Diego for that question. His questions as always. Let's move on. Man City versus Arsenal. They're not playing each other, but they are competing right now for first place. Manchester City, like I said, has 79 points with a game in hand. Arsenal have 78. So let me read off to you guys. Arsenal has Newcastle this weekend. They play Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and then they finish at Wolves.
Yeah.
While Manchester City still play Leeds. They play Real Madrid twice. They have Everton, Chelsea, Brighton, and Brentford. And they still have that game against Manchester United, the FA Cup final, which is obviously that's a lot of games from now till all this stuff is happening. So let me ask you guys, who JC, you started off, who ends up in first place?
City definitely has the more difficult matchups outside of Arsenal, who just really have to play Newcastle, and then they're kind of at a home stretch. But you've seen Arsenal bottle it versus smaller clubs. They were definitely in the running these last couple of games. You see 3 draws in a row in the last 5 games, prior to this win and then the loss. Those are all 50-50 games. They're in second place because of those 3 draws. Literally, if you get 1 or 2 of those draws that go your way, and you had your better center back Saliba out, and you've seen how exposed they were versus Man City, and they just didn't really have a game plan on how to defend them with Saliba being out. And if they could stay healthy in the back line, Arsenal could definitely still finish on top. But it's difficult just because of the 3 games that they dropped in those draws, and it's a great team win versus Chelsea, and everybody's on a winner's high, and it's a great win when you bag the goals the way you bagged them and the positioning that you saw from Odegaard. and it really is kind of just banking on that guy at the end of the day to make the place. Yeah, he's got to make it happen for them. But I think City has the tougher games, and if they start squad rotating and they tie this next game versus Leeds, it's not a cheap game. You know,
and Allardyce just got hired.
Exactly.
Never been relegated from
and he's already making the scene, and he's ruffling feathers. He said nobody's got more experience than him in the Premier League. So I really still think Arsenal could finish it out. And just because Man City's got too many games. If they were out of champions already, they're all in on this and they're not losing a single game. But between having to flex players out and run alternate squads, and if one of these teams starts getting real chippy and somebody gets injured, Pep's gonna start tinkering with the lineup. And it's all downhill from there. You know what happens when he does that.
Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, J.C. said it right there. And that's quite the dilemma that's facing Pep right now. It's like
crazy.
This team right now is so in form. Do I change them, understanding that they have other games coming up, like the Champions League? Or do I rest them and prioritize those games and just, rotate my entire squad and get people in there that I might need for the Champions League to come in for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and provide a spark off the bench? It's quite a dilemma there. I feel that Arsenal do have a better chance of securing the Premiership, given the amount of games that Manchester City have to play moving forward.
And that's their only competition too for Arsenal.
And and
that's it.
And like JC said, if they win 2 out of those 3 draws, we wouldn't be talking about them, losing the Premiership and bottling it. We'd be talking about, hey, this is the home stretch and they're 2 games away from possibly securing it. So I would still probably say that I would like to see Arsenal win it. Realistically speaking, though, it's looking like it's going to go Manchester City's way.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on now. We'll say.
And the other thing too, I do want to throw in there is that if Man City doesn't win at least 1 cup and 1 trophy this year, what's going to be the narrative? I mean, you went all out. You got Haaland, right? You got some record goal scorer. You got a record goal scorer now. You're playing with a striker that you've never had before, who's just an absolute machine. You've got the squad. You spent the funds. You don't win champions, and you flunk the league. What's the narrative now?
I think even if you win the league, but if you don't win Champions League,
no, but the possibility is there that they don't win either.
Yeah, it's there, but I feel like a failure for them would be not winning Champions League.
I think a failure for them is not winning anything. How do you have the best players in the world with the quote unquote best manager in the world, right? And then you don't manage to win a single trophy, and then you bank all on the FA game to salvage your season and just the FA Cup at the end of the year to basically say, hey, this is all we have to offer. You win all these runs, you win all these stretches, and then if you flunk out of champions and then you flunk out of the league.
About Pep, and if Pep is still the guy to lead Manchester City to the promised land, I guess.
Oh, don't ask the media that; they'll tell you.
And where does he go after that? Because let's be honest, if we're looking at hypotheticals here,
he can go back to Barcelona.
That's a very big hypothetical. That's a very big hypothetical. And if he doesn't win either one, what's next? Because he said he's there to win champions. He doesn't care about the Premier League, and there he is going all out trying to win a Premier League.
The Spanish squad is the only thing that's left for him.
It's like JC wants to take control of this show, and he wants to be the navigator because that's where we're going next.
Oh, I foresaw everything.
Man City versus Real Madrid. We know what happened last year. Real Madrid at the end of the game had only 1% of a chance to beat Manchester City. Rodrigo knocked in 2 goals. They end up going into overtime. Benzema scores the game winning penalty. Real Madrid goes on to play Liverpool. They beat Liverpool and they secure their 15th Champions League. Now, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen this on the internet, but everybody knows about it. Last year they played PSG. Well, they played Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool. And this year they've done almost the exact same thing. Yeah. They've done the exact same thing.
You got your tinfoil hat on there, champ.
No, that's why I hate them redrawing.
You have your tinfoil hat on. Big conspiracy theory going, huh?
No. I'm just mentioning it like that's.
And you got a storybook final for San Siro. Like all of a sudden,
that's tight.
It's very storybook. I don't know. I said it last time too that they're just picking these games in there.
We'll talk about that.
I hate that they redraw, but
let's talk about this preview right here.
Well, yeah. So basically, Manchester City is facing Real Madrid again. This time though, it'll be the first leg is at Real Madrid. at the Bernabeu. Then the second leg will be at Manchester City.
Look at that. The
the
defending
empty
champs.
head.
The defending champs finishing away. Wow, what do you know?
Yeah, exactly. So,
crazy.
JC, let me ask you, what does Man City need to do to come into the Bernabeu and get out with a victory?
Stay healthy, and hope Benzema doesn't turn it on. It's difficult. No, there's really so many ways that this game could go, but the number one problem is, and you saw Madrid play an alternate squad versus Sociedad in that Madrid derby, and their eyes are on the prize, bro. They're not here playing what ifs. We're not here trying to finish strong and race two battles that we know we're not going to win one. So they waved the white flag on La Liga a long time ago. Yeah, I went on a little run, right? Just rotating players, and you're going to get results just because of the quality. But Madrid played a whole alternate squad this last game. City played starters. Call it what you want. Yeah, they played an alternate squad, but that's not an alternate squad. They're more than half of those guys are starting the next game. And that's going to be the real edger right there, where Madrid's going to be fresher. They're not going to have to worry about any other competition other than champions. And say what they want. City's still trying to win a treble. They're very much trying to do it, and their head is all in on every competition. And for me, that's what it's going to come down to. Madrid still is going to be the team to beat, because all they need is 1%, and they can, turn the result and, flip the switch out of nowhere just because of those guys and their chemistry that they have. But this is definitely Madrid's game to lose, and it's really on them. And Carlo has to have the team really locked in, and the mental preparedness is going to be the most difficult portion of it all, because if they slip up at least 10 minutes and they give City a 10-minute stretch, 5-minute stretch even, they could bag 2-3 goals real quick, like
last year. Remember in the first leg against Man City, they gave up 2 goals. They
had a lapse. They had a lapse. And
just to let you guys know, in this game, Militao will not play in this game. He is suspended.
Oh, that's true.
With that wacky yellow card that he got against. It was a weird one, but he got a yellow card in that last game against. I think it was Chelsea. Like 15 minutes into the game. And then Luka Modric is the only other one that's a little bit questionable. But a little bit questionable, I say, because they're saying he has a hamstring injury, but that he's already nursed it and that he should be ready to go for the game against Osasuna.
Luka will be fine. Luka will be fine.
Yeah, so the only question is going to be, are they going to start Luka, or are they going to bring him off the bench? So that'll be the interesting part of it.
Tchouaméni had a game.
And that's what I'm saying. I think they might go with the younger route, go Toni Kroos, Tchouaméni, and Fede with
for the Copa.
No. I'm talking about with for the Copa. I think they'll do that
for the Copa.
But I think for Man City, they might end up doing that same squad, and then obviously, what's his name at left back, Camavinga.
Okay.
And then at the top, do Rodrigo, Benzema, and that Rodrigo, Benzema, and Vinicius combo has kind of been lethal lately. And
it's just because those wingers are growing up. They're growing up right in front of your eyes, and it's crazy. Rodrigo takes over.
Yeah. So, but Eddie, what does Real Madrid need to do to win this game?
Before I give you my take here, I want to say a couple things. I've been listening around some people on social media, and the disrespect that they show Real Madrid, and suggesting that Haaland and Pep and Man City are just going to show up and run them over and blah 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 blah.
What they say, it's a matter of how many goals.
Yeah, not if they're going to barely win. How many goals are they going to score and win by?
And
then on top of that, every single time before Champions League, even in Madrid win it, they're never the favorites.
No,
I don't understand. How are they not the favorites? So stop with the disrespect.
Pep's squad is always the favorite.
Let's be honest and let's be realistic here. Madrid are the favorites. I don't care what anyone says and has to say about that. Show me otherwise. Show me how they can't beat this Man City team, which is basically the same team except with Haaland. Show me.
And they didn't lose because of Haaland.
And I think, what Madrid needs to do.
They weren't missing a striker.
To win this game is isolate Kevin De Bruyne. Cut his passing lanes off. Because we've seen time and time again that if you shut down Kevin De Bruyne, that puts an extra workload on Bernardo Silva. And I'm not saying Bernardo Silva doesn't have some of those capabilities and qualities that Kevin De Bruyne has. But I would still bank more on Kevin De Bruyne giving you that pinpoint pass and tracking that Holland run than a Bernardo Silva. Jackie Grealish might be an X factor, come around.
Well, they just got Foden back too, right?
There you go, Foden. But I think Real Madrid, if healthy and when healthy, they always show up for Champions League. Benzema really took over this season and made Champions League. It's almost like a Cristiano Ronaldo thing where like he shows up for the Champions League. You can count on him to bag you a goal or two. Vinicius and Rodrigo, they hear the Champions League anthem, and it's like they're playing back home, playing backyard football and just running amok. And you still have an experienced goalkeeper in Courtois, one of the best in the world.
The best.
You have an experienced defender in Alaba if he does play. Camavinga is really coming to his own at left back, and you got Fede Valverde that plays right wing, plays
the whole right. He just plays the whole right.
That doesn't get tired either.
And that alleviates a lot of the pressure on Carvajal to not only defend, but do other things besides that. So let's stop with the disrespect here. I think Carlo Ancelotti understands very well what he needs to do against Pep. He did it last season. There's no reason why they can't do it again. I'm not going to say it's going to be a walk in the park. Let's not be ridiculous here because Man City do have a good team, but I still see Real Madrid as the favorites.
You just put your hand in your sweater, raise the eyebrow, and just chill.
I mean, but there really isn't much City can do to surprise Ancelotti. I mean, what are they really going to do that's so different than it was the last time they showed up? Madrid came from behind. Like City did not need to buy Holland. They bought him as a luxury. They obviously bought him so somebody else wouldn't beat him with him, right? Because there was talks he was going to go to another Premier League team, and
you just can't make those stupid mistakes. Like the one against Bayern, the one where the defender slips and just lets Holland have an easy.
That's just unlucky. That's unlucky.
Yeah, you just can't let him have anything easy. Like you have to make him work.
Exactly, the one-on-one they left him there.
But let's be honest, he's a machine.
Bayern pushed up.
No, he is. But a lot of his shots and a lot of the stuff happens because of mistakes that the defense. Not a lot of them, but they're in the Champions League. I've noticed some mistakes that the defense is making is the reason why this fool's bagging some of these goals, and it's kind of like how many?
But that's the pinpoint part.
How many mistakes did he make?
If you understand, like what I'm trying to say now, it's like when we used to watch basketball a lot when Kobe was still playing. They'd say, you know what? Let's make these other players around Kobe beat us. Kobe's not going to beat us because Kobe is going to get his own shots. He's going to get his own buckets, and that's fine and that's cool. But let's make these other players around Kobe beat us. And I think that's where Madrid have the upper hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't let
they have the better midfielders.
Yeah,
they have the better wingers, and I'd say they have some of the better defenders. I still think John Stones out this season has been playing out of his mind.
Oh yeah.
But if I'll take Camavinga over their left back any day. Kyle Walker looks like he's aging and slowing down.
Imagine he's gonna have to cover Vinicius the whole game,
unless he's gonna get
somebody else over there.
It's tough.
Yeah,
Kyle Walker is solid, but I still think Vinicius is gonna do what he did to Trent.
In Madrid now has the luxury of having options they didn't have last season.
Yeah,
you got Camavinga, you got Tchouaméni. You don't have to worry about a Kroos and a Modric's health. You're not in a race for La Liga. You're not in a race for Copa del Rey. Like you're just literally playing.
You're ready in the Copa del Rey final, and honestly, I don't think you're gonna lose that final.
And they're getting it done this weekend's the Copa del Rey final. As soon as it's over, you're focused on it. But JC, who wins on Tuesday?
Real Madrid.
And score prediction?
You're gonna squeak it. I think it'll be entertaining for once. The first leg, 2-1. I feel like. I think they'll get it out.
Eddie,
I'm gonna go Madrid, and I'm gonna go 2-0.
Strong.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Madrid will go up 2-0, and then City will get one at the end.
I think Madrid are tired of the disrespect, to be honest.
Yeah, they're gonna come out.
You could tell they're this year in the Champions
League. I know Benzema is tired of the disrespect he got last year for being the best player on the planet and still not receiving the rewards he was supposed to receive.
Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, and Vinicius wasn't even in the top 11 or whatever.
And Vinny,
you kidding me?
Yeah, he didn't even make. Yeah,
they put Leo
it.
Messi in front of him.
Put the top 11.
All right, so now let's head over to Italy, where we see AC Milan versus Inter Milan. I think there's a lot of hype for this matchup, just because obviously same city. It just feels like anything could pop off at any second. It's obviously going to be an incredible rivalry. But Eddie, what does AC need to do to win this matchup or to win this game?
Just be defensive. Be defensive. Don't allow the Inter wingers, or I should say wingbacks, get the crosses in and try to link up play, because a lot of their play comes from their wingbacks. Sometimes Bastoni, you see him playing left wingback, and the guy is not the fastest, but man, he's got a great left foot. And if you put the ball up to Lukaku, he'll score 1 out of 100 chances. You don't want it to be that 1 out of 100. Give the ball to Leao. Leao has shown all season why he was voted the best player in Serie A. And the guy's lively. The guy can create his own space. Has matured a lot in many ways. I think he's looking for the pass more instead of being an individual player that's always looking to take players one-on-one. Tonali does a great job of helping Theo Hernandez when he goes up and pushes to cover that spot. And you have the old workhorse, man, one of the most underrated players of our generation, in Giroud. He's not the flashiest player, but when he's called upon and there's a chance, more than likely he's going to bang that in, right? And I still think that they have a better keeper in Maigan than Onana. I think Inter got very lucky to be at this stage right now. Let's be honest. No one foresaw Inter being here. But I think the biggest hype surrounding this game is it being at the San Siro, and being the last year that the San Siro is going to be hosting a Champions League game. Very iconic stadium for many reasons, many great games, many great derbies, and it's going to be a fun one, hopefully.
JC, what does Inter need to do to win this game?
I think opposite of what Eddie was saying. AC's got the sweatier squad. Use it. You got the younger team. You use your pace. You've been running amok on teams with that pace, and you've been quick on the counter. Strong in the middle, and I feel like everybody's hitting their stride for AC right now. They didn't really have to worry too much about the league anymore, and they rotated players out too. I was trying to watch as much as I could over the weekend of all those teams that are left in the Champions, and they look pretty ready. They had a little battle over the weekend. AC Inter, ran through a quick 3-0, I think it was, versus Veronas, and AC really just kind of had a little bit of a battle, but they squeaked a 1-1, and they really rotated a lot of guys out. And I feel like
Roma, so Mourinho's Roma's no pushover.
They have the sweatier squad. I think they really have to use that and take it to their advantage. They don't have an answer for Theo over there. They don't have an answer for Leao. They don't have an answer for Brahim Diaz. How are you really going to stop AC if you're Inter? That's the real question. I feel like this is AC's game to lose, just based off of the quality, and they have the younger team, and they're coming in, and they've been running.
Barella bails you out, man. Play Barella.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because Tonali's there too. I mean, position for position, they go player for player, but I feel like AC at the end of the day squeaks out the quality, and they're the younger, faster team, and that's going to make a difference.
Who wins this game?
AC.
Score?
1-0.
Eddie?
Yeah, I'm with JC there. I think AC squeaks it 1-0. Very Italian game. So
a lot of missed chances you'll see. You'll see a lot of missed chances.
So for this next one, I have a special video for you guys.
Remember, guys, these are not scripted.
Yeah, folks, JC's totally right. I just throw these videos out there. They don't know what's going on, but I think you guys will like this next video. We're throwing it back. We're throwing it back a little bit.
Oof! Oh, you're throwing it back.
All right.
No.
Not going to Real Madrid. I'm telling you now that these rumors are swirling that he's going to Liverpool. I told you a long time ago.
Nobody wants to go to Liverpool.
You heard it here first.
Nobody wants to
get up.
Crying for Jude Bellingham to be their savior. Crying. And do not doubt me when I say that Klopp and Liverpool are willing to shell out 150 million.
All right, I'm not. Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, he's not done.
Oh, he's not done, huh?
Nah. And the man himself.
Jude Bellingham deal done very soon. The agreement is not completed yet, but the negotiations are progressing very well between Bellingham and Real Madrid. On personal terms, Real Madrid feel that the player is prepared to accept their proposal. Real Madrid are very optimistic. Now it's on Real Dortmund, but the relationship is excellent, and so Real Madrid will speak to Borussia.
And you know what? Let me tell you.
He dug it up. Here we go.
No, honestly. He was gonna go to Liverpool. They were gonna shell out the money. Hold on. They were gonna shell out the money, but Fenway Sports Group, I think, are in the process of purchasing. I think it's a basketball team, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't know which NBA team.
It's either a basketball team or something. They're in the States. They're in the process.
Oh, the Washington Commanders?
There you go. Football, something.
Is it?
They're in the process of buying a sports team to fill out their portfolio, to have a baseball team, a soccer team, basketball, hockey, football, whatever it is, right? So they're pretty tight on cash. And even before that, Fabrizio was also hinting at Jude Bellingham going to Liverpool. He said his two choices are Liverpool or Real Madrid. And if Liverpool were going to shell out the cash, he was going to go there. I think he had his heart and mindset to go to Liverpool. I think Liverpool told him that they're not willing to pay the cash and they're not willing to pay Borussia 150. But guess who is?
I think he didn't want to play in the Europa League.
That's really what it is at the end of the day. Let's call it what it is. Liverpool has the money to shell out, but when you weigh your options and you wait till the end of the season like you're supposed to, good job on Jude and his team waiting till the end.
Thing you waited.
And you look at it now, and if you look at it back then, you see Liverpool still battling, right? They're still fighting top four. They're not looking great, but they're showing potential. And Madrid's more of a sure thing. When you wait two options out,
champ, you should have brought out the video where you said, "I'll take Camavinga over Jude Bellingham."
There is no video. Dan and Diego and I looked through the whole thing. There's no video where I say I would take Camavinga.
I remember.
I said Camavinga was a better. Right now,
he said
better. Young.
He said, I remember that.
He's been through more. He's been through more. So
no, but honestly, when you weigh out your options at the end of the day, like you're supposed to, the upside is with Madrid. At that moment in time, they just came back from England camp and everybody's all hype, right? Henderson was grooming the kid and Trent took him to the Chris Brown concert. They had it all going on, bro.
I'm telling you, it was going to happen.
They were there. It was going to happen. But you're not going to leave a Borussia team who has right now a bigger upside than Liverpool. At this moment, right? You second place versus fourth place, sort of, and a bunch of injured players. You really don't say no to Madrid.
And an aging team, though, so you never know.
Hey,
but I still feel that it's only two teams in the race. It's either Liverpool or Madrid. Fabrizio's hinting that it's probably going to go Madrid. I'm not going to doubt that. If I call Fabrizio right now and let him know like where the clout demons are at, and if I can slide through, he'll say yes or no. He's got the locks like that,
He does.
Shout out Fabrizio.
He's only
the guy.
He's only 25 years old. Like,
it's all about who
That's why when everybody's like, "Oh, Shams, Woj, all these guys," I'm like, "No, Fabrizio's a freaking legend."
He's got the whole European transfer market down the lock, bro. Europe.
He even freaking calls like in Greece. This guy's going to Greece. How the hell, Greece,
out there, bro.
Everywhere. He doesn't.
Shout out
Fabrizio, man. Salute,
shout
man.
out.
Caps off. Caps off.
So Fabrizio actually announced that Lionel Messi had been suspended because he had
an unadvised vacation, right?
An advised vacation to Saudi Arabia, I think, or the Middle East,
or unapproved.
And then
I guess you should say.
And as soon as and this is the first time that they've suspended somebody since 2011. So
let me tell you, if they didn't suspend Neymar for all his antics, and you got suspended pretty quickly, that should tell you something.
Yeah, well, that's bad on you.
But it says Messi will leave. And then as soon as that happened, as soon as suspension came down, literally like clockwork in 2 hours, Messi will leave PSG at the end of the season. There are no doubts about that anymore. Behind the scenes,
you can leave now.
It is understood that Leo's father, Jorge, communicated the decision to PSG already 1 month due to the project. It was the final breaking point. I mean,
a couple of things there. Like J.C. said, he's only there to get a check and prep for Argentina matches. He said that here, and that was exactly true, and that's what it was. Second of all, I saw on social media that a lot of players, went to the stadium and started, shouting Messi this, Messi that, out, whatever.
My favorite.
I got that. Hold on. You don't even have to. Yeah. You don't even have to
stand by.
Cue it up.
Stand by.
I got you.
Whoa.
There we go.
There's some French, by the way, everybody.
I can't really make that out, but
Messi.
I understand that. Right? Hit the translate right there. But I understand all that completely. But what I didn't like is that the same fans.
They were targeting Verratti, Neymar, and Messi. Supposedly.
And I think they should have a little bit more respect for Neymar, because if it wasn't for Neymar, you guys would have never gone to that Champions League final. Because Mbappe was hurt the majority of the time leading up to that final. And you were really putting all your chips onto Neymar, and Neymar carried the team.
It was Neymar versus
Thomas Tuchel. Neymar and Thomas Tuchel match
versus
Bayern.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But I mean, okay, let's be honest. Like, it's either Saudi or the United States, right? Like, there's like Barcelona keeps on flirting with, we'll take him. But
Barcelona has to sell a bunch of players.
Yeah, and that's without even adding on Messi. Like J.C., is that what you see, that it's only Saudi Arabia or the United States?
I said this a long time ago. The biggest payday with the lowest expectation, that's where he's going next. He's just trying to write it off into the sunset. He did the only thing that was left for him to do, and that was win a World Cup. He can't do anything in the club stage anymore without Xavi and Iniesta and, the La Liga refs. And, this was only a matter of time. To see Messi get booed like this, even Ronaldo had a falling out at United. But I mean, Piers Morgan, Piers Morgan going on a vacation, really just turning your back on the club.
Leo Messi? Leo Messi, ¿dónde está?
He's on vacation.
¿Dónde está Leo Messi?
Oh, man.
But my bad. But and that's the thing too, is that like Ronaldo missed time because what was going on with his girlfriend and their kids were sick and everything. And here it's just because he wanted to go on like we say in Spanish, por sus huevos. He wanted to go on vacation and he left and just didn't let anybody know. So that's the incredible part about it.
I am Leo Messi.
Yeah, like the guy, like I don't know, like I think only Zlatan could do that. Like, I am Zlatan, I leave.
You know how the media was shielding him, like, don't question his commitment. No, this proves it as to why people are questioning his commitment. And
what has he really brought to PSG? I mean, okay, let's just say the jersey sales. Okay, let's go the jersey sales, the followers on social media.
The Qatari owner really had that ambition, thinking that if I bring Messi, he's already got that connection with Neymar.
He won him the World Cup, bringing him in.
They can do something.
Yeah,
and it just didn't pan out that way. And I feel,
but it's like the owners haven't realized yet that it's not just about having the three best front players. Like, you need defenders, you need a midfield, you need goalie, you need everything else. You can't just have the three best attacking players in the world and say, I can do this. But yeah, it's just crazy to see the way he really, and Messi wasn't even trending when this popped out. Everybody's like, if this was Cristiano Ronaldo, you guys would be crapping all over him. You guys would be throwing his name in the mud and everything. but because it's Messi, everybody's like, oh, who cares? The season's over anyway. That's not a competitor. Like I don't know. I think so too. If this would have been Cristiano, people would be all over Cristiano.
And I'm with you with that. And I'm with you. And then let's say
Honestly,
Messi goes to Saudi
else?
Arabia. What's going to happen? What's going to happen there? Oh, look at Messi. Saudi Arabia this, Saudi Arabia that. Oh, such a great move. But when Ronaldo did that, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He's finished. He's this.
Yeah.
He's
well,
that.
Speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, our main man, who I'm going to try and get on the show. I really want to get this guy on. I think it'd be fun to try. No, Fabrizio. It'd be cool to get him on. Hey.
That would be crazy.
So this is what Fabrizio had to say about
and the Compas.
I know. This is what he had to say about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Many rumors, as always, on the future of Cristiano Ronaldo. In the last 24 hours, we had stories coming from different countries, especially from Spain, saying that Cristiano Ronaldo has already decided to leave Al Nassr in the summer. What we can say is that as of today, Al Nassr have not received any kind of communication from Cristiano Ronaldo. So Cristiano has not told the club that he wants to leave or that he has any kind of agreement with any club around the world. This is the Ronaldo situation right now. We have to see how it will.
It feels though that like where
but
there's
if you ask Dan and Dago, there's a secret agreement somewhere with a certain Premier League team, and every third day we hear it in the group chat. There's a secret agreement. I'll let you guys go and ask him. I'll let him, say it in his own words.
That fool doesn't cook at home, but he knows how to stir that pot.
I don't want to paraphrase for the man. I'll give him the liberty to, give his own locks. But there's a secret agreement. There's. But
let me ask you this: if Ronaldo does end up saying I want out, I don't think it'd be to the United States. To be honest, I think he has unfinished business in Europe.
No, I think that he's the big rumor for me that I've been seeing more of is that there's an ambassador role for him at Real Madrid, and that they're looking to bring him in, player coach maybe, or just as an influencer for the team, like basically run the locker room. I guess you could say just come in, run the locker room, keep these kids fine-tuned. But yeah, the big thing is an ambassador role, and Papa Perez was letting him train there in his transfer window when United let him know, and they mutually decided to terminate, and he was training there, and I feel like shook a couple hands, try to test the waters, see how good he's got it out there still in La Casa Blanca, and I feel like that's going to be the more probable stop, I guess you could say, for him. I don't think he's going to make the jump over here to this side of the pond, which would be great. I doubt that the clubs will all get together and pay for his wages like they want to do for Messi. But it's interesting to see.
San Diego FC.
Rumor has it. There's a secret deal somewhere. I'll leave that for Dan, to go and speak on whenever he's ready. But he's for sure staying in somewhere in Europe, and he's got some unfinished business. I think he might go back to Madrid. I think that's going to be the best way for him to, and I hope if he does go, he accepts it as his going out party, and he really makes most of that, gets his flowers and his going away farewell tour.
Well, this upcoming year, Benzema's supposedly
that the boys go out together.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like literally, Modric, Kroos, Benzema, and Ronaldo could all go out together.
Bring back Ramos too.
Oof.
I wouldn't be. I mean, as a backup role, like I wouldn't mind Ramos coming back and
let Alaba play.
He can slide into the CDM.
They let Alaba play every other month.
Whenever he can play.
Ramos.
Eddie, where would you like to see Cristiano go?
Bayern Munich.
You're crazy.
I'm being realistic.
Tommy T.
I think Tommy T could do something with him up there. I think Tuchel is known to get the best out of players, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to get the best out of Cristiano Ronaldo. Bayern Munich are in need of a striker, and if Bayern Munich wants to put their pride aside and get rid of that Messi shrine, then
all those guys were doing was crossing it in like they had Robert Lewandowski there.
Let's all be realistic here. As much as we love Cristiano Ronaldo, dude, you need to take a pay cut.
100%.
You want to play in Europe.
Yeah.
You want to go back into Champions League. You need to take a pay cut.
$500K was crazy.
And you need to prove not only to yourself but to the whole world that you're committed, that you're 100% for the team, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to earn your spot. That's
Agreed.
all. And be that professional that you've always been throughout your career. Because
and you're seeing
the way you left Man United did leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, even mine.
Yep.
And I want to say it's part on the ownership, it's part on Ten Hag, but it's also part on Cristiano Ronaldo.
Of course,
the way that things were handled.
Equal blame, but you can't have a messy thing. You can't have a messy thing happen.
No,
you got to see this and see it as a low key blessing in disguise, because this is you. You're next. You're next, my guy.
Yeah, especially if
it
you're
already
going to
happened to
Madrid.
you at your beloved Manchester. Like your beloved Manchester literally said, "You can go." The fans were out there, signs high. Nobody's bigger than the crest. Nobody's bigger than the club, and I appreciate him and I respect that and I agree. Cristiano's not bigger than the crest anywhere he goes. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. And he better respect and see what's happening to Messi, and he better not let it be him next.
If you go to Real Madrid, I mean, like Rodrigo, Vinny,
it's the farewell tour.
The guys coming up really look for, like,
it's like Kobe. It's not it's not the Paul Pierce going away tour.
It's not the it's not the Paul Pierce going away tour.
And that's my guy, shout out Paul Pierce, me.
Shout out Paul.
Real quick, let's do a quick what's on
him for nothing.
I love it.
It's ecstasy.
Astonishing. This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
Yep. So let's see. What should we throw? Oh, you know what? Eddie will love this one. Eddie, why was your boy all over social media this weekend, Marcus Rashford?
Great question, champ.
Marcus Rashford's PR is unrivaled. He was out at a club in Manchester and saw Alicia Lehman in the crowd. He invited her and her friends to his table. And now the media turned on a victory parade for him like he went to war or something. It's crazy.
What's going on with your boy?
You can't miss. That's crazy, bro.
He clearly can. We lost today.
That Aston Villa girl, though, shout out to her. You're
a clown, bro. Oh my god,
that boy can't miss, bro. Marcus Rashford.
He clearly can. Point blank, he's missing.
That's why my room's red. My room's
every
red
game.
for a reason, boys.
Every game he's missing. At least 3.
ESPN FC had this graphic today. Chelsea has used 3 different managers to move from 38 points to 39 points since April 31st.
Todd Bowley, this sport doesn't work the way hockey works or basketball works. It's completely different.
J.C.
And I feel for Frank Lampard, man. I really do.
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys are really risking their name out here. It's rough, and you hate to see it. I always want my team to be playing against and around the biggest, most competitive league possible, and that's the Premier League. Everybody throws money in there, even the lower clubs rank pretty high. But Chelsea, man, you got to get it together. This is what a 360 from the beginning of the season and now, and they're still living for free off of Tuchel's points. And if it wasn't for his points,
Kai Havertz came out and said we were fine in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
we just went through a little bump. And then when they fired Thomas, he said it. They fired Thomas Tuchel. Everything went to shite.
There's no justification.
So, second and last one, just real quick. I told you guys it was going to happen. We've talked about it happening. Now they're starting to ask the question.
Let's see.
Besides Messi, who could win the Ballon d'Or? And they're saying if Man City won the treble, would Erling Haaland deserve to win the Ballon d'Or next over Lionel Messi?
And that's my point.
I thought we weren't going to count the World Cup when it came to the Ballon d'Or.
I love this comment. Who deserves it? He deserves it even if he doesn't win the Champions League. Who invited Messi?
With the Fede Valverde. Is that a Fede Valverde picture? Who's that? Is that him?
Who is that?
Yeah, proud Fede. That's his ad.
Yeah, it is.
That's him. There.
But
but you see, this is my point exactly. Look at the question and how it's positioned. If they win the treble, does Haaland? But what if they don't win anything? What if they flunk out of Champions? What if they flunk out of the league and then they lose to United?
But he gets kicked out of PSG. Then like,
if they win the league, I think Haaland's in the conversation for sure. He broke the all-time Premier League scoring record that stood for
over De Bruyne.
Years.
No. He's talking about Erling Haaland.
Over De Bruyne? No, but that's what I'm saying. You're talking Ballon d'Or over the main reason why you got all those goals?
Yeah, I would say so.
No De Bruyne, no Haaland.
And I'll tell you one thing: if a certain
easy.
team wins, if a certain team wins the Champions League and they won Copa del Rey,
none of them are winning the Ballon d'Or. I'll tell you that.
And the kid does it.
Vinicius, they're not gonna give it to him. You think they're gonna give it to him?
Vinny?
I don't think they will because they gave it to Benzema last year. But I think Vinicius' name should be in there.
Yes, I believe he should be mentioned because if you mention Neymar at his second season with Barcelona, was it his second or third season? They're already talking about giving Neymar the Ballon d'Or.
Well, they talked about it, but we all know that they weren't going to give it to him over.
What more does Vinny have to do though? But what more does Vinny have to do? Because Neymar's finishing top 5 in the conversation of Ballon d'Ors in those years, behind Messi. I get it, behind Cristiano, right? If there weren't those guys, Neymar be that guy, right? But you got to throw Vinny's name in there. You got to throw his name
this year.
20 assists, crazy.
20.
And then I think Vinicius is in that conversation. I think Haaland's in that conversation.
No, yeah, but I'm saying what is Messi? Like Messi hasn't done anything
in that conversation.
To be in there.
He's not in that conversation.
And why isn't Vinny?
That's the real question.
You know what I mean?
You put Rodrigo ahead of Messi. You put Fede Valverde right now ahead of Messi.
Oh God, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, big Fede running amok.
Before we head out,
Odegaard maybe.
We want to congratulate Napoli for winning the Serie A champions for the first time since 1990.
Third time, boys.
I saw something about that. Chucky Lozano's the first Mexican to ever
win the Italian league. Yep,
that is crazy. Oh, look at that! Look at the first comment.
Osimhen. Oh, he's in the conversation too.
Hey, no Osimhen. No points.
We'll see.
Georgia boy, right there in the conversation.
Shoot.
Definitely some congratulations to Napoli for that, and good job by them.
Congratulations to Chucky Lozano.
El Chucky Lozano. But we appreciate you guys so much for checking out another episode of Compas FC. Make sure you guys check out everything on the Compas on the Beat Network. Combat Compas, Gilbert and I broke down WWE Backlash this weekend, and I think Bad Bunny is going to shine this weekend as a singles competitor. I know they're going to get some help here and there, but I think Bad Bunny is going to steal the show when it comes to his match against Damian Priest. Regular Compas on the Beat, Gilbert and I speak about Lamar Jackson. He waited a whole year. Did it benefit him to wait to get this new contract? And then obviously we break down the draft, the winners, the losers, who we think did well, like the Colts, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's some teams. Then obviously there's some teams that you're like questioning what they did. And then we go over to What's Up Bolts, and make sure you check that out. Make sure
I guess
you
they did win draft weekend, right?
Dan Diego and I break down all the Chargers draft picks. And the class was not as bad as what people think. So make sure you guys go over there and check that out. And then don't forget to check out House of Horns. Gilbert and Vic break down the 14 players that the Rams selected. That's a lot of players. A lot of draft picks
they need it.
They need it.
For real. They need it. But we appreciate you guys for again for checking us out. Don't forget, next week is Champions League, so we will be doing a 2-episode breakdown. So one episode will be dedicated to Man City versus Real Madrid. The other one will be AC Milan and Inter Milan. So we appreciate you guys so much. Have a great weekend. And thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you guys. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa about what the compas are doing on Compas on the Beat. Thank you guys so much.